Well, howdy there, folks. James, politicalfriar.com, coming at you again. Got the U of O hat on, so we're going to talk about a political topic today. And I haven't been covering this one because it's so fabulous, but we're going to talk about George Santos finally. He was expelled from Congress today, and it's a historic moment. It can't be anything but. There's only been six congressmen, all men, expelled from the Congress over the course of this nation's history, and he's the most recent. There's only been three since the end of the Civil War. And that is why this is actually a bit more notable than just the historic marker of every once in a while Congress people get expelled. Because those other two who were expelled were also convicted of crimes. And George Santos hasn't been yet. Now, he got some due process through the House Ethics Committee and some other discussion about this during a previous expulsion vote, but it's notable that he wasn't actually convicted before being expelled. And that's a change. That's a change. See, in previous years, what would happen with this type of case is the congressperson who misbehaved would be called into leadership's office, would be explained that have it explained to them that it was time to go, that they wouldn't be receiving any help from the leadership in the primary or in the general election, and that they are basically SOL. And without the leadership's support, no congressperson could survive on their own. And they would have a little shame and they would resign. See, lots of bad people have gone through Congress. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. But all of those folks in the past had been disciplined by the party itself, have been told that they must resign. And in this case, the Republicans just weren't willing to do it. They just weren't willing to keep their own house clean. And there's some reasons for that. Some of them are more troubling than others. So a troubling reason is that this is another indication of a post-shame political climate. You really, it doesn't matter what you did. You can't behave badly enough to lose your job. And I do think this started with Bill Clinton. Yeah, Bill Clinton cheated on his wife. He had a sex scandal. He lied about it in court, committed a crime. These things would have shamed a person out of office in previous decades, but by the 90s, it just didn't. And that crassening of American politics has just extended through to the natural inheritor of that attitude, which is Donald Trump. His the line that Donald Trump draws is not what's right and wrong, but what you can get away with. And it's extremely utilitarian in that regard. And I guess it's a philosophy. It's one that I wouldn't like to see in very many politicians, but it did truly enable Santos to say straight face, I haven't been convicted yet, so you can't expel me from your august body, regardless of what I've done. And the Republicans used that along with a rather more practical political calculation that they have a four-seat majority, and if you lose one of them, well, then you have a three-seat majority, and that's a big hit if you're going to actually try to get anything done in Congress. And Mike Johnson appears to want to get things done in Congress, so it doesn't surprise me that he voted against expelling him. It's logical from Mike Johnson's perspective, even as a conservative Christian who has what appears to be the highest of ethical standards, would tolerate this in one of his colleagues for, power. I get it. I get it. It's cynical, but I get it. But hey, kudos to 105 Republicans who did vote to expel George Santos. There, at least in that vote, there at least is some sense of shame, because shame's important. Shame's what keeps us from having to go to the mat over everything. If we can recognize that a person is in the wrong and that person can also recognize it and say, sorry, I'm ashamed of that action and move forward, then we don't have to go to court over everything. It's so much more efficient. Well, we had some shame show up in politics today. And I guess we can see that as a good thing. I don't know. Anyway, it's just a thought. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Give me a like. Hit subscribe, please. I really would appreciate it, that you get to see the next one of these whenever I get around to making them. Oh, I wanted to apologize for the slow rate of production over the last couple of days. I've been sick, and my voice sounded like I had broken glass in my throat, and so I decided not to bother you with with that particular presentation. As you can see, my voice is back to its nasally, whiny self, so we'll be on to the regular schedule of shows. Anyway, I really appreciate it. Thanks.